Well, hello, everybody. I hope that you guys are having a nice day wherever you are. I know that we are all very excited for the match that we are gonna have today. Of course, the world of esports is continuing to grow, and of course, the international scene is a full part of it. And today we get to witness just a little part of that same scene. Of course, you guys know what it is. However, like I said, I am not going to be alone for today for this good old CS match. I'm here with Elena. How are you doing?
Hello, Roy. I'm so excited, of course, and I mean, it's a pleasure to be with you in this day in particular, and especially bringing you all the action, that we of course need in this World Championship of 2023, because it's a new year, it's a new chances for these teams, and this is going to be a special one because we have Colombia against Guatemala.
Oh, that is going to be exciting for sure. I mean, we've seen the teams face off in different occasions. Maybe, well, the team members, I should say, face off in different occasions, maybe on a bit of a different format right now, because it's not about maybe those rosters that you are used to seeing. It's about the talent pool that comes in from the same region, from that same country. And as Lena said, Colombia versus Guatemala, it's where it's at. And let me tell you, like, just as a bit of a preview for what we're going to get, there's quite a few names that are going to pop up right away that maybe are going to pop off on screen as well. But we'll get to talk a little bit about that a little later on. And yeah, indeed, it seems like a little later on is just about now. And we are going to see who is comprising Colombia. Can you tell us, Lena, please?
Yes, of course. We have big names over here with tons of experience, at least on the Spamsy side. He's, a really professional player. We have seen him play with multiple teams so far. But, I mean, Points, Snake, Like, and Connor are as well, like, really good players, from this country in specific. And, I mean, they have been doing an amazing job against Ecuador, against, as well, who was Costa Rica as well. So, I mean, the thing is, they are like really dangerous, and this is going to be, well, an interesting one, since literally it's Colombia and Guatemala, like the most powerful teams, let's say, so far, at least at this in the north. So it's going to be an interesting one. But as I say, these names are pretty famous, let's say, popular against players in Latin America scene in general. So, well, I don't know what to expect about it, but I'm pretty sure that Guatemala has a lot to offer as well.
Yeah, let's see about them as well. I mean, Guatemala for sure are no slouches. Anti, Mitis, Themen, Stage, and Freerest, they are gonna be representing their country today. I mean, we do have Mitis, for examples, currently with Nova Dragons. Themen and Stage are also gonna be putting in the work. And of course, we cannot forget about Fierist. I mean, this man has already represented the national team once before, and I'm willing to bet that there is some retribution to be had in this one. I mean, for sure, Colombia are no slouches, like you said previously. There has been names that have been on teams like Vault and Infinity, so definitely Guatemala have their work cut out for them, but it doesn't mean that it's an impossible task. I mean, after all, it is a best of one that we have in front of us, and anything can happen.
Yes, that's the thing, right? Like, I think it gets a little bit more of pressure for the teams when it's just a best of one instead of a best of three, where you can relax a little bit and have more chances. But in this case, it's going to be an interesting one, since I'm not sure, but I mean, I just saw that Guatemala has also Malves. He's a super experienced player as well. And I don't know if he's going to play today, because I saw that he's like a sub, for this team. But last year, Guatemala won in this same competition. So I don't know. I don't want to say anything, but they at least have the crown already. And so I don't know. This day, it's going to be an interesting one. I hope, like Colombia, it's a little bit more prepared for this year in specific. But as I say, I feel, I mean, these players are so good, Roy. So this is so exciting.
Yeah, definitely it is. I mean, it is the world stage after all, like Lena said at the very beginning. These are the regional qualifiers for the World Esports Championship 2023. So that is definitely no small task ahead for either of these teams. As you said, maybe Guatemala with a little bit of glory previously, but I mean, still, there is plenty of experience. And also, like you said, it looks like Malves this time around, it is not playing as a main member of the roster. So maybe they're going to call upon him for a little bit of subbing action. However, as of right now, well, they definitely have their work cut out for them. Colombia are, well, definitely not gonna be an easy target for them. Not when you're trying to qualify for that World Championship that is gonna be on ESC a little bit later on the year. The 15th time already that we get to celebrate that. I really just would like to take a little bit of time just to appreciate this type of global effort, especially in games like CS that really lend themselves to this, because it just really brings the spotlight to regions that maybe the worldwide population are not so familiar with, especially Central America, especially South America. So I really do appreciate efforts like this. So huge shout outs to IESF and the rest of the team that makes this possible.
Yes, definitely. I mean, this is the kind of chances that we need, right, as a region, and especially to keep growing like the esports scene in general. So, well, as I say, I guess I just keep saying and repeating myself about how excited I am. But I mean, I was just watching about the results that they had yesterday, and I mean, Guatemala won 16-1 against Honduras, and then 16-10 to Costa Rica. So I don't know. I mean, they are coming up like really strong. So I don't know, going to be a really interesting one, and that's why we're going to see as well, like which map we're going to see today, because it's just a best of one. So let's just keep that in mind. So there is no more chances to keep like, well, earning like more points or something. Is just like the step, you know, to just go to the best of 3 that we will see in the next few days, because there is a lot of days of CS. So yeah. I don't know, Roy. I can wait.
I mean, excitement is in the air. You've said it plenty. I'm going to repeat it quite a few times myself. I know for sure that is going to be the case. I do believe it was Ancient that we got to see just a little bit a while ago. Yeah, indeed, it is going to be the case. So our match is going to be decided on Ancient. That is quite an interesting selection for, I mean, usually we get to see it in a very different place in the rotations, maybe when it is a best of 3, but since it's a best of 1, story changes a little bit.
Yes, definitely. And I mean, I feel like Ancient, it's, I mean, not the kind of map that you expect in a best of 1, especially since maybe a Mirage, Inferno, something lighter, let's say, that you could just go like straight to the point, you know, where you can just need to win the map. But in Ancient, you need a lot to work on it. So it's going to be fun. I mean, it's kind of similar to Mirage. I always say that, but just this, I guess, is that it's a little bit harder to see. I don't know. Maybe it's just me, okay? Like, I know that a lot of people like this map, but it's so hard to actually see. It's like so dark, and I don't know. There is like certain spots that they are like really weird to actually like hold into that position. But yeah, in general, I feel it's going to be an interesting one. Like, I expect a lot of aggressivity, especially from the T side, you know, because you can, well, try to push a lot on mid. It's kind of similar to Mirage, that's why I say it, because you need the mid control. It's like the fastest thing, and especially you can break a lot of rotation from the CT. So I don't know, it's going to be interesting to see how they pull that off. But I expect a lot from both teams.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I do have to agree on it being a little too dark at times. Those monitors better be cranked up all the way in the brightness. I mean, you may be getting blinded for a little bit, but better that than missing quite a few shots because of the lack of brightness. And as you said, I do believe also in what you were mentioning earlier on that, yeah, see, definitely the mid part of the map gonna be of heavy contention. You were used to seeing those smokes onto the upper side, also on lower mid. I mean, as far as holding goes, we do see plenty of action towards construction and the house as well. When it's a time for the tees to make it all the way into the ramp, but I mean, it is definitely maybe not what we were expecting, as you said, for a best of one. But nonetheless, I'm sure that we're gonna have a lot of fun commentating this one, as Guatemala, like you said, they do have a little bit of a record behind them, and quite a positive one at that. And so Colombia is gonna have to step up to the plate and show us what they're made of here in Antiguo.
Yeah, as I say, it's just like the best of the best at this point, at least in the north that we have for the CS matches. But yeah, I don't know. It's it's just going to be fun because I'm just thinking like, how did they end up with Ancient, like choosing that map when you have a lot of options, to work with, and like the easiest one, maybe they just wanted to make a little bit complicated, like to claim the winner in the situation, because as I say, as Colombia and Guatemala, they had like strong they got strong matches, I'm sorry, and they won like 16-9, 16-10, and 16-9, no, 1. And I mean, it was like literally amazing for both of them. So that means that today, in this only map, they are going to decide who will take this.
Well, we didn't know exactly how it happened. I mean, they might have tossed a coin or something. I don't know what was going on over there. However, I am sure, like I said, both of these teams are gonna definitely be ready for what's coming. I mean, these players, there's a reason why they're representing their countries, right? Like, they are not gonna be strangers to the game, not strangers to Ancient. That might have been a thing a little, well, a few years ago, maybe. But I mean, when your job is playing a video game, then you definitely are gonna get to learn those maps as fast as you can. And so, well, I mean, I don't think it's gonna be a factor. I think it might come down a little bit more to how used the teams are to working with one another. The teamwork, the communication, also super crucial elements here, and especially in a map such as Ancient. I think that maybe if a couple of things go south, I mean, somebody reads something wrong or misjudges a certain situation because of the lack of coordination, let's call it, because this players are not playing with their usual rosters, right? I mean, I'm sure they got their reps down, they got some practice in. However, it's still not the quote-unquote ideal situation as far as that team experience goes. So I think that it could also lend itself to pretty interesting situations.
Yes, definitely. I mean, as you say, they are not like an actual team. They are just from this same country, basically. But
Yeah.
each one has their own team, maybe. Like, I mean, I don't know in a specific for each one, but yeah, they don't. It's not like they practice like every day or play like more tournaments in particular, but they need to gather for this competition in a specific where you need to be for the same country and, well, just represent your country, of course. So yeah, I mean, there is a lot that they can teach us particularly, but also I feel like maybe that could be like a good point for them, let's say, because they are just, let's say, friends, right? So Roy, let's just get into that first map, and only one particular in Ancient, where it's just about to start on the attacking side, and we see Mouse on that roster, so that could be really dangerous. And he's the man of the moment with he getting just the first one. Mitas gets the second, the double right now for him, but the trade needs to come really fast since Connor and Points are left alone. Well, not anymore. Points is down by the stage. And now it's just Connor with the dualies in this first. Oh my god, this pissed around is just about to get a little bit too crazy, but T-Man just closes this first round and on board for Colombia.
That was nice. Definitely. I thought that they were gonna get to go straight in for a bit of a rush. You know what I'm saying? Like getting that bomb as soon as possible just to rack up some points. But Mavs and company, well, they were not having any of that whatsoever. And well, that is the way the cookie crumbles for the first round. And now Guatemala, well, they are done getting their lead, but it's about keeping it, really. It's not only about establishing an early advantage, it's all about continuing to rack up on what they've already built. And look at Themen. This man is lighting up everybody on site, and with a little bit of help from Malvs as well, working as a team. Malvs gonna end up losing his life, but nothing that a little bit of cleanup can't make happen.
I mean, that was a really strong hold since the best round for Guatemala. And I mean, as I say, I'm not surprised that Mouse is actually playing this map. And even though he's the sub, he did the same last year. And right now, I think there's a good chance for Guatemala to feel confident. But let's say that the strongest player for each team, it will be Malves for Guatemala and also Spamsi for Colombia. So there is a lot to offer with these guys in particular, and I hope they can try to wait a better, oh my god, way to be aggressive. So right now, stage with the MP9, so strong, getting Khan's head also well. We're getting a like with an important trade just to put things even for B4, but Malsis was trying to look for that second kill, and that's how, at least right now, it's got the B control without a problem, and Mel's is down. They don't have information, but this is going to be a really good moment for the rotation, and points will, no, I'm sorry, yeah, points will just get there.
Oh, for sure. I mean, that frag from Spamsy was absolutely massive right there. Stage trying to get the wall bang as well. Anti not gonna be alone yet, still having a couple of his partners to play with here. Definitely Guatemala playing an impressive CT for the time being. Points could change this. Sometimes an AK is all you need to turn a situation around.
And I mean, 1922 HP, that's going to be a really hard one, but they just have the bomb drop, so this is a good chance, of course, just to hold and wait for points to walk across that. So now it's just a 3-0. Guatemala looking really strong, but I mean, in Ancient, yeah, the city side is a little bit stronger, you know? So there is no, a real problem in here. I just feel like Columbus still had like a really good chance. And I mean, it was a really nice try. The thing is that Guatemala got like the traits like so fast. It was like really good like doing that, and also the patience where Anti and Stage just were just holding, you know, like the bomb, and just for the right moment, of course, and playing a little bit with the time as well in their favor.
I wonder if they're getting the call shots here from Malbs. Like, you guys don't have to commit. Like, your only job right now is to hold for dear life. And even if they didn't have the most health to show for that later part of the round, even if points technically did have the gun advantage, I mean, it doesn't mean that it is still as trivial as it may seem. So in the end, that is all going to translate into Guatemala making this a 3-round lead. But of course, it's only early game, so there's plenty here of room for Colombia to actually try and change the course of things.
Yeah, it's just a good chance. I mean, especially right now with pistols, this is looking more for the Guatemala side, especially from the way that they are playing so far. But I don't know. I just feel like Colombia needs to work a little bit better on their executions, particularly like once they have the chance to get a full buy. But right now, okay, Mouse almost. I mean, I bet he got a little bit scared for that one. Points, it's down right now, but still, Snake Hunter and like just trying to get a little, or at least a pick. You know, it will be good for the economy. It wouldn't hurt, of course, but Anti knows where the rotation can be, and he just did last of three of them. So that's it. Another run or more for Guatemala, and I like how clean they look, but especially like how good coordinate they look.
Yeah, they definitely seem like, I mean, we were talking about it, right? It is probably gonna come down to how much coordination these teams have already worked on, and it seems like Guatemala have done their homework. Colombia, for the time being, Really not getting a chance to play the game. This is really going to be their first chance to show what they're made of. So Spancy M Company, they're really going to have to make this one count. Connor, for the time being, trying to gain a little bit of terrain. Anti just towards Donut. He is not alone, though. We do have a couple of stragglers and a little bit of mid control here for Like. Just lighting up some bullets to establish position. Again, that wallbang could have turned into something very interesting, but for the time being, no frags have come our way. Definitely, I do appreciate this little bit of a change of pace that Colombia were bringing. However, that all turns around in a couple of seconds, and Guatemala are gonna be ahead in numbers yet again.
And let me tell you, I just got like the flashbacks from last year, and Mels and Metis played like really well together. You know, they made this kind of a dream team, let's say. Team and just getting, well, another one just to put the difference over there. But yeah, as I say, they usually play like this, you know, together. They are just waiting like for the trade. Like, I mean, we are seeing it right now. We just got like the information. Well, Metis, I guess he wasn't like that ready, as I say before, but yeah, the thing is they play really well together, and it just works like a really nice duo, let's say.
Yeah, I like that you're pointing that out, not only because it goes with the themes that we were mentioning previously, but also because there's a little bit of history. So if Colombia also have done their homework, like maybe done a little bit of research, you know, I mean, they have been part of these competitions after all. I mean, they also should recognize the strong points, the strong suits that Guatemala is bringing to the table. Not like they can do much for it outside the game, but for the time being, they are being heavily reduced. So it is definitely a long way to go here for Colombia. The boys in yellow, I mean, not looking too hot for the time being. I don't even know if they're gonna get anything significant at this point out of their tier rounds. Finally, for the first time, we do get an execution, so that C4 has a chance, well, had a chance to go up into the heavens, but that is no longer the case as the rest of Colombia get completely wiped out, and Guatemala continue to look as strong as they have so far.
And, I mean, at least they planted the bomb, right? So that is a good thing for their economy so far, but I mean, this is like what, the third time right now that they have a full buy, but they are not. I don't know what's actually going on, because I feel like Guatemala in general, they are just winning like the early picks. Like that's literally the difference. Like we saw that before, like Mal Smith is just playing together, trying to push on Belong. And that definitely makes the difference right now. So Colombia, I like the fact that they are now deciding to push a little bit more into the A side, and especially right now with 4 of their players, while the other one is just trying to fake a little bit on the B side. But this is going to be an interesting one, especially if they have like a really good positioning. We just have one of Guatemala players, which is Anti, playing from Donna. Then he just got the first one, but a quick trade from Con just came along. This is looking good for Colombia. This is the first time that at least they have they have control of the entire side for them. And this could look really good after planting the bomb.
Yeah, Mid is gonna try to catch something, but all that he's gonna catch is a bullet. Well, Points did at least. Off-screen, Midis, though, did manage to dwindle away at the numbers from Colombia. And like you said, this was the first chance that they really got. Snake trying to hold here, gonna put the nade to try and delay. That little bit of extra pressure, it's gonna turn into a trade. And just enough time left here. Yeah, I know.
Oh boy. I mean, again, that looked promising for Colombia at the beginning, but especially since Guatemala decided just to play like a full retake, you know, like they bet more their personal into mid, B, of course, because it's a little bit harder to retake. So in the case of A, they just play with Anti over there. I mean, at least he got one, but that was a really good and crucial information for them to try to work on it. So right now, again, the aggression here, Anti with the double, but Points get a quick trade right now. Stage, okay, he just I don't know where that shot. But I mean, that should have been like a kill. But I don't know what happened exactly. It happens, it stings sometimes when you just hit with the AWP and I don't know where it shoots, but he didn't die. End up with, in this case, a 15 HP. But this could be looking for the first run for Colombia. Let's see if points at least, gets that first kill. But oh yeah, that's going to be an easy one, especially when you have a smoke helping you to work with. So first round for Colombia. This is looking, well, still really good for Guatemala, but a really nice try for Colombia so far.
Colombia now getting to break the cold streak that they got caught on, or that they were put on by Guatemala, maybe I should say, because I don't want to discredit the boys from Guatemala. Definitely, they've been putting in the work, like we talked about the previous and all of that amount of preparation. But it really does come down sometimes to what you can execute in the game. So far, a little bit of damage being dealt already, so that push from ramp side is going to be slightly delayed. We do have Midis right there, trying to mitigate the pressure, still playing towards the construction side, trying to get just a little bit more damage. And, well, Guatemala have definitely made their future work a little bit easier with all the lead that they have already delivered. However, the first frag will come still into the side of Guatemala. Colombia looking disheveled once again, and one by one they're getting cleaned off.
Oh my god, and that kill through the smoke was just painful to see because, I mean, at least for Colombia, right? Because it's like, how that actually happened, but at least Timon is gone from Donna. They have a really good chance here, but still with the advantage, let's say, for Guatemala just for HP, because Colombia, I mean, still have 3 players, but Snake is just 14 HP, 44 for Spamsy, 36 for like, so that could not end up really well. The stage has a really good positioning, but I don't know. You can just literally wait while Colombia is just making their way through Donut. Will end on the A side with just 15 seconds on that clock. But, well, this is just a little bit hopeful for them, especially when they have just the right, oh my god, time for plant, but on the back, Anti just got one. Was just trade, but I mean, still a 2v2, Roy.
Still a 2v2, and a situation in which Colombia did have slight advantage. Gonna turn into one-on-one, though. Spamsy versus Malves, the matchup that we were waiting for. Malves running out of time, though. Spamsy just really needs a little bit more. Oh, the flick from Spamsy. The no-scope, I should say, right there. Malves, well, he decides to get a bit too aggressive, and of course, Spamsy was gonna find the right punishment from him.
That was really close, actually. I mean, I was just thinking, like, Spamsy Malves, I told you, they were like the most powerful, let's say. I mean, it's just like, I'm feeling so dramatic saying powerful, but yeah, they're like the strongest, let's say, players, you know, in each team. And I mean, this duel was just perfect, but with the time just running out for Malves, that of course was just going to play in favor for Spamsy. So right now, points got a little good information, while the rest of the team are already on the A side. I mean, I am glad that they are understanding, like, Guatemala is just leaving the A side for retake only, you know? I mean, this is just perfect because they are learning a little bit of how they can actually push into side. But I mean, there's still like really good kills from Guatemala, just taking corner and points down with just pistols.
I mean, that is what it's all about. You called it best, Lena. I mean, it's learning about this type of situation. Let's see if they can, well, take advantage of this in a bit more of an even round, let's call it, because this time around we know Guatemala were not really in the best of legs. They were not sporting their best goodies, let's call it. And so Colombia, well, they do have a chance. Let's see if that bit of a learning curve that they've been through is now coming to a peak. I mean, Guatemala, after all, they have only one more round to go before it is mathematically impossible for Colombia to catch up to them in this half. I mean, in a situation, maybe if you're in the best of three, you're like, okay, there's still plenty of room to grow and learn. But when it's a best of one, every single frag counts, and every single round is gonna count.
Yes, definitely. I mean, you need to accelerate a little bit more that, um, yeah, learning, I guess. But right now, as I say, I feel like Colombia knows where the weakest point on Guatemala has been, which is the A side. We just have like Andy just playing like really close, but he was able just to at least get the double without a problem. Three players left from the Colombia side, but the pressure over here with 57 HP and
No.
the ace for Andy. Just easy peasy lemon squeezy. And I mean, what a good team flash. That was just beautiful to see.
Man, that is an entire lemonade, not just a little bit of a squeeze of lemon. If you ask me, you know what I'm saying? Like, quite a cleanup right there. We were talking about how they may be willing to focus a little bit more onto A, and Anti is like, what were you saying? Where do you think you are going, my guys? And so Colombia are gonna end up falling yet again. Spamsy, though, gonna be the first one to claim a life this time around. It is a much needed one after all. There wasn't as many resources on the side of Colombia for starters. So they'll take everything that they can get.
Oh, it's just like I guess my mind's still thinking of that last round. It was just beautiful. I mean, right now I feel like Antti was feeling it a little bit more, you know, like he was like, yeah, I'm gonna push me again. But at least in this situation, the timing wasn't the right for him. But still, Colombia had a good chance. I mean, still 5 players alive. They are a little bit ding. Let's say 23 HP for Snake. 67 over there for like, but at least Spamsy got the AK-47 and still plenty of time to work with, like 50 seconds. But once again, A side is going to be the right one. Timon, I don't know what he was looking, but yeah, he was in a party or something. But right now, again, having the full control, bomb is going to be planted, and the retake need to be effective on the Guatemala side.
It is going to be a tall ask regardless. They do have a couple of AKs to be facing. For the time being, though, it's not looking like Guatemala are going to approach. After all, like I said, they have already secured themselves the mathematical lead. Colombia, it's just a matter of cutting on their losses for the time being. Of course, they're going to go on the prowl, and Colombia delivering in the pain right here. Malves trying to make sure that they don't go unscathed. However, Colombia end up getting the cleanup right there. And you can see it in Spanish or in English. It doesn't matter. Colombia ganando esa ronda. They are taking that round to the bank. They're halfway there. And even if they are not going to get to catch up on this half, there is still a little bit more pain, let's say, that they can deliver to the side of Guatemala after, I mean, they were looking so solid at the very beginning.
Yes, I mean, again, it's just the CT side. They could play a little bit more passive. Well, not exactly, like more relaxed, actually. So, oh, okay. Second kill over there. Mel's with Deagle. That was a really quick one. But now, after 3 players down, is Pansy has the hard job to recover the bomb and also, well, just to try to think where the rotation is going to end. Because right now, oh, okay, wait, what just happened? Why points? It's on CT. I don't have an idea, but at least they have a good idea of where they could right now be. As Pansy is going to plant the bomb. So the retake once again on the Guatemala side. They have the personal advantage. 3 players alive just with Deagle's job, but I mean they could be really dangerous with Pansy. Just with that nice spray, getting the triple for him. That was a really, really good one. I'm just amazed about how crazy these rounds are actually going. Like Guatemala getting really good kills, with just pistols. But I mean, Colombia just did it like 2 rounds ago as well. So it's just like
Yes.
perfect sometimes, and even the timing is just playing like a really important role in this game in particular.
I mean, timing always the extra player here in CS. Stage trying to get his spray, not gonna turn into much. However, talking about that anti, still gonna get something for himself. Guatemala trying to reclaim a little bit of that momentum that Colombia managed to snatch away from their sails. Malbs leading the charge, their forces right here. Snake, it is an AK and a dream for him. Gonna have to move through main. Not gonna get it quite yet in this situation. The engagement, I mean, he is pretty much, Snake's pretty much trapped at this point, and yeah, it was just a matter of time. And Malbs, I like that because earlier we did see Spamsy just giving a couple of extra love taps,
Extra
let's
bullets,
call
right?
it,
Yeah, yeah.
after. Yeah, exactly. After he got that spray, that triple, and now Malbs is like, okay, let me hear about that one more time, please.
I think it's just so funny, and I mean, most of them are friends, to each other, like Guatemala, Colombia. As I say, I
Yes.
feel like in general, the CS Go scene in Latin America, it's a little bit small, so we know each other, like
Mm-hmm.
most of us. So it's just funny, to sometimes knowing that you are going to face like friends of yours, and you can just try to have fun, with this kind of
Yeah.
situations and getting a little bit, sassy, about it. But yeah, it's just so good to see this level right here, right now, in this competition. But well, Guatemala looking strong so far. We will see once we switch sides, but so far 9-5. Colombia is down, but they could be really dangerous. They already showed us that.
Oh, for sure. I mean, I think it's all really gonna come down to the side switch after all. The trades have already gone through even numbers for the time being. Snake trying to get a couple extra bullets right there. Anti gonna be playing here from the other side of the square. The entirety of Guatemala is right there, catching the flank. So points gonna be out of there, leaving Snake and actually only Spamsy left. Spamsy manages to get the plant going, but he's gonna get collapsed on, and it was just a matter of time at that point. Unfortunately, his teammates got cleaned up, and there was a little left that Spamsy could have done. So Guatemala, they're gonna be up by 5, but we've seen the flashes of what Colombia can really bring to the table. So I guess we'll have to find out now that they are going to get to play on CT.
And I mean, 21 kills for Ante, if I saw correctly. It's just crazy to think that in the first half he just got that much kills. I mean, he got an ace,
Yeah.
so of course it's so expected, right? But I don't know. I just feel like they could play this in a different way, and especially without losing the aggression that they shown us on the city side, even because they took control of mid like multiple times. So this seems to be like another strong one. Now that Spamsy is gone, the strongest player of Colombia, Stage just took him down. Mal's just trying to look on the flank. The timing over there, at least got his back, let's say, so there is nothing to worry about. But Auntie this a minute now with the Molotov, this is going to earn like a lot of gain, a lot of time, I'm sorry, but well, just a Snake was the only one able to take in Stage down. But a clean round in general for Guatemala, a good way to run through the map, basically.
Yeah, I mean, Guatemala have definitely shown their prowess in this pistol rounds. Second one that they are gonna get for today, and the only two ones that they are gonna need to get for today. As a quick reminder, this is a best of one after all. Guatemala has had quite an interesting path already in this qualifier for the WEC23. Colombia trying to beat a foil on their path. They are gonna need a little bit more of a wind-up time, let's say, because, well, now they're only gonna be sporting pistols, and I don't think that is all that they're gonna need. Even if they do have, quote-unquote, the advantage of playing on CT, we already are seeing just how Guatemala are able to further their lead, and this is why that pistol round was so important after all, because Guatemala were up by so much.
Yes, definitely. I mean, this actually worked really well. Mouse anti just closing the round, and just the spam. It's just I love it. I love how this is turning out. But well, I mean, I was expecting maybe well, I don't know, Colombia getting this momentum, let's say, of this. Once you switch side and you are like in the comfort side, let's say that it's the city. I like the way that they are actually just trying to be passive, but I don't know. It's just a little bit weird about how Colombia is playing right now. I mean, I like this first kill that Points just got over Mouse, because that at least assured you that there is no longer really danger mobs. I'm sorry, in the game. I just got lost a little bit with my words, but this
Don't
is
worry.
it, Roy.
No.
I just feel like Guatemala is so strong. What can I say?
I mean, I totally
Like
get what
Colombia
you're
right
saying.
now.
Like, getting rid of Malps at the very beginning, it is definitely gonna help any round that Colombia are gonna be facing off here versus Guatemala. So, I mean, if there's anybody in this lobby with a target on his back, definitely it's Malps, and then also Spamsy on the other end, right? So, Colombia, though, finally managing to get well, to stop the bleeding. I mean, they're gonna need to. They were bleeding profusely, let's say, and they're gonna need to stop it just a bit more or continue on this same path. I mean, they've shown us what they can do on the first half. Now that it's time for them to play a little bit of defense. Let's see what they can do. They're going to be armed to the teeth. Also, not forget about Connor, who has that AK in his hands. Spamsy gonna open things up here for Colombia. So far, so good, but I wouldn't bet on this being a situation in which Guatemala are gonna go quiet into the night.
Yeah, I like the way that they are actually trying to execute the A side. I mean, that molly was just perfect. That's something that we didn't see from Colombia when they're trying to push on the A side. So this could end up like really, really well. We have a situation where Guatemala just have two players alive, or not anymore, because it just Mitis by himself. Until now it's gone, and he just have the hard task. Try to clutch this in a 1v3, especially, I mean, when you have this score, it's not like you need to worry a lot, you know? Like, you can play passive, you can do save, and yeah, you just try to play for that. But Colombia is also understanding a little bit like the position that they are right now on the city side, and that actually helped them to play well the way that they are doing right now, you know, a little bit more secure of themselves, and also with the confidence that they are just going to win their duels, you know, like they are going just to put that bullet first.
Yes. Yeah, Colombia for sure seem a little bit more confident. I mean, I think it's been a common theme with them from what we've seen today so far, and that is definitely the fact that they seem to be a bit of a slow burn. And by what I mean by that is that as the match progresses, they are able to regain a little bit more confidence, build upon what they already have got for themselves, and well, so far so good, Kun. Getting to, however, not gonna get to deny the plant. A little bit of rushing action coming in from Guatemala. At least getting the bomb planted, and as you said, Lena, prioritizing their economy here with the way that they played this one. I mean, they really can play for those trades in regards to the rounds. So this is not gonna be too big of a loss here for Guatemala. Nonetheless, though, if Colombia continue on this little bit of a streak, I think things could get very, very interesting.
Yes, this is a really interesting one, especially since Colombia are, well, as I say, are learning a little bit what they can do to try to stop Guatemala. Because, I mean, at the end, I think they, so far, they planted more times the bomb that Colombia did on their T side. So that's something, that's
Yeah.
something that Guatemala is just taking the advantage, let's say, and especially in their economy. So they don't suffer a lot, as Colombia did
Yeah.
when they are on the T side. So, well, right now this is going to be an interesting one since Guatemala now has the weapons to try to face Colombia in this situation where at least I can tell that they're playing a little bit more like on the side, more passive. What a good flash just got the double on Mels and Timan. So this is looking really good. And I don't know, I mean, Guatemala will have just right now the advantage and leading that score, but I don't know if that could actually be for much longer.
Well, I guess we'll just get to see. Colombia, for the time being, though, looking like a completely different squad. Right now, playing full confidence. Spamsy gonna be delivering pain yet again. Midis in what we may call an impossible situation. I don't know if it's too big of an exaggeration for you guys. I don't think it is, personally. However, Midis seems to think that is not undoable. At least not in the way that he's shooting so far. But the damage had already been done. And like you said, Spamsy, just letting them know what's up. I mean, Colombia is starting to creep up on Guatemala little by little. And even if Guatemala have been playing that defensive style that, well, quote unquote, right? Just by the way that they have been developing their economy. But uh, in the way that Colombia have managed to really full on take control of the match, a couple of rounds are going to go by. And if Guatemala don't wake up, well, like I said, not only going to be interesting, but maybe even could be a table turning situation here for Guatemala.
Yes, I mean, that score is just getting closer and closer, especially right now when the economy is not looking well for Guatemala, but at least they made it into side. Mouth just trying to get that first one with just a deagle. Let me tell you, I mean, oh, okay, Spamsy Points just getting a double here. The bomb is planted once again, but that was a really quick way to try to solve that. We have still like 4 players. Okay, a stage was able to take a snake down, but Spamsy with the trade. It's another one for Colombia, but I was just going to say that Mouse is pretty famous or popular, let's say, for being like one of the best eagles that we have in Latin America, let me tell you. So, I mean, yeah, at least you are going to see that he will get one crazy shot with the deagle, and we just saw that happen right now, but still not enough, especially when, well, they are not winning the rounds, but still I feel like they have these chances to full buy like more often than Colombia did. So this could be really, really helpful, especially right now when all the aggression over here. Mobs just got, well, Spamsy down. That was just beautiful to see. I mean, he almost killed as well. But really
Yeah.
good, and at least the advantage here is for Guatemala.
Oh yeah, I mean it was a ballsy play there by Malves. Definitely a shoot that requires confidence. Connor, oh my lord, he is gonna swoop right in, and he is gonna get a tasty piece of what Guatemala were offering. All of a sudden, even in spite of Malves' best efforts, Guatemala gonna be down in this situation. Even if just by virtue of them playing against the clock, though there is still plenty of time to go by. And now, this is what Guatemala have been doing so greatly. That's playing for the pick, but as I say that,
Oh boy. I sometimes it's just weird for me because I'm trying to cast, a game, but I get so into it that I'm just trying to scream. Like if I was playing and then I start like no, or I don't know, it's just like it's so stressful for me sometimes. But yeah, it's just like the timing. It's I feel like the thing that I hate the most to actually watch is when the timing is just awful, you know? Like someone is just going to
Yeah.
pick, but the other person just turned around in that exact second is just, oh my god, I just hate it. But well, at least right now it's looking really crisp for Guatemala with the double aggression over here on mid double kills. Well, Spamsy and Like is down, so are down. I'm sorry. So we have still 5 players, but they already lost a round like this before. So I won't say that now. Okay, Colombia doesn't have. Oh, okay, this is perfect for a stage. Also getting snaked down with that pick. It's just the patience as well. You know, like that's beautiful to see in CS. Like it's just about like hitting your shots, and also like the kind of gameplay that you have, right? It's more about patience and timing and a lot of different things and situations, circumstances in particular, that just make a difference. So right now, Guatemala woke up, and they do have the information where points is, so they just need to wait. And especially just getting out of that smoke like that, points didn't have a chance against them.
Yeah, no bullets gonna be curving the smoke around or anything like that around here. That is gonna have to wait a little bit longer. But you're definitely not the best situation there for Colombia's side. And I mean, Thiman looking like the man, you know what I'm saying? Like that double enabling the rest of his squad. And from then on, like you were calling out, like they were able to get the picks, they were able to get the frags that they needed, and sometimes it just seems as simple as that. Even though, of course, it is about so much more, just so important that Guatemala were able to break that little bit of a streak and regain some of that confidence because, I mean, that scoreboard was looking a lot different a couple of minutes ago. And now, ooh, the Molly though? I thought it was going to be a bit more of a significant situation right there. Anti going to get busy. Down and dirty with the bomb. There's still plenty of firepower that Colombia have to bring, though. Anti not going to hesitate. However, a bit of a bait that it ends up being. Fast turning into a 2 versus 2 situation, but Midis, you called it out. The man is not only a duo. This guy came here to play, but so did Spamsy. Spamsy not going for it right away, trying to fake it out, trying to cause a little bit more pressure. He's gonna have to commit at this point. Will he get it? And no, in the nick of time, Midis.
Oh boy, I was. That was funny to see because you try to move when you are just defusing. So I don't know, maybe you can dodge some bullets.
Yeah.
But anyway, I mean, still pretty funny to see. Guatemala, it's up now, just one round away for the match point, which means they could just get, well, you know, this victory, and of course make a little bit, well, I mean, make suffer a little bit to Colombia so far. But well, Colombia has just a few weapons. Oh my god, especially right now that points doesn't have the the transfer got the double, but T-Man with the trade, that was really beautiful to see. I mean, especially when you have this trigger control, when you are just right behind them, but you just want to shoot it straight away. It's just so painful to see. But and he just got his Pumsy down. There is another trade, so Teeman completely by himself, Connor, and like in a 1v2 situation. This is a little bit hard for Guatemala, and especially, oh my god, it's such a crucial round. But seems like Connor is just going to find him 10 HP. I mean, what you can actually do with that health.
I mean, let's see with Thiman if he can be the man once again. He does have plenty of time, if anything. After all, like and Connor working out in tandem. Thiman just trying to make it out of this situation. Let's see if he can survive for a couple more seconds. 20 on the clock, not looking too promising for him. Look at how Colombia, they decide to retreat. And they are holding hands. They don't want to lose sight of one another. In case they really need to go for a trade or something like that, it doesn't end up being a situation like that. In Colombia, they say, no, no, no. No, el día de hoy, not today. And Guatemala will not yet get that 15th one on the board. It was a valiant effort at the very end, but just not enough health to really make a significant play aside from planting the bomb, which of course it's something, but when we are talking about the end game, you're gonna need a whole more than just that.
Yes, I mean, at least Tima got the bomb, you know, like he planted, and that's something that Guatemala has been doing like really well, even though they are not allowed to actually win the round, or I mean, they lose the post plant situation, you know, like positioning. It's a little bit rough, but right now, I mean, at least I feel like they stood like really good chance every single time. And now, I mean, you have mouths just trying to open like the site just like that. But Spamsy now with the double, the timing once again, it's just awful for him. But Mete just got him down. This is just so important for Guatemala, especially right now that they have the full control of the city side. With the smoke to work with, he's just going to respect that. Of course, keep just winning a little bit more of time. So Snake, well, he cannot do a lot about it. So it seems that this is just going to be a save for Colombia and match point for Guatemala.
I mean, can you blame them at this point? Colombia really know that this is about the end game, so they don't want to let go of any resources that they have fought so hard for. However, it is undeniable that Guatemala, well, they are in it to win it. And they may just be doing that after this round match point. And a bit of a streak as far as matches have gone in which Guatemala, well, they could be getting the third one on the board for themselves. Colombia, not out of it just yet, but it is not looking too pretty, especially not with what they're packing right now.
Yes, this is well, something really hard, especially right now since Teman just got points down. Mouse with the second. This looking pretty good, especially since the rest of the players of Guatemala, 3 of them just trying to get to the A side stage without a problem, just close that. And now Connor and Snake have a really hard job. Okay, even though he just got one stage, got the trade. But Snake in a clutch of one before, and with Mouse alive, this is going to most likely, go to Guatemala, and that's how we close this map. Asian with a 16-12 winner match, Guatemala, and well, that was actually pretty fun and good to see from these guys.
Yeah, it definitely showing up, the teamwork showing up, why they are one of the favorites for this qualifier. Guatemala for sure putting in the work and showing up. They slowed down a little bit, or should I say that Colombia woke up for a while and they brought it to a 2-round difference. However, it was just not enough at the very end. And well, we already saw their results. Guatemala definitely gotta be looking pretty for this qualifier. I think that they have their sights set on ESC without a doubt.
I mean, I told you, they won last year, so they are, well, one of the strongest teams basically in this region, at least in the north. So it's going to be fun to see the rest of the matches that we do have tomorrow as well, right? Because, I mean, we might just finish for today, but we have more action tomorrow and the day after and more days.
I totally get it. I don't know if we're going to get to see the MVP at least, or if we are closing out right away. However, as you said, it was very, very fun. Same time that you're going to get to tune for these matches. And so the global scene is waking up, and we'll get to see about that in the next few days. So I hope that you guys get to stick around for that.
Definitely, there is a lot to see. But yeah, Roy, I mean, in general, that's the impressions that we have, and there is a lot to work for Colombia, especially. But I mean, they played like really well. We have like some amazing
Yeah.
rounds, but especially. Again, I feel like Guatemala is too confident and they have been doing this for so long already.
Yeah, I mean, experience did definitely showed. Even though we did have a bit of let's say synergy on the side of Connor and Like,
Mhm.
which are playing for the same team currently. Also, I mean, nonetheless, even if we did have a couple of let's call them superstars, right? Like in Spamcy and in Malps, it's not all about them, though. I mean, I'll guess that we'll get to find out which of this team players, sorry, were a little bit more well got to show off a little bit more for today. Nonetheless, it was all about the team effort there for Guatemala and Colombia. Well, and that is gonna be a lot to think about before their next matches.
Mhm. Yes, definitely. And as I said, we are well just excited to witness, like all this trajectory that this team have, and it's just amazing to see some good CS action. So yes, right, we will see the MVP just very soon. But I mean, who do you think it is actually the MVP? I will say, yeah, definitely Anti.
Yeah, I was gonna say that at least in the fragment department, that man was popping off, getting the ace. I mean, doing it all for his team. I also really quickly want to point out Midis. That man was absolutely playing out of his mind as well, enabling Malves and Malves enabling him. So the coordination definitely was there. But I mean, if I had to bet on somebody, I would go for Anti as well. But I mean, I guess we'll get to see.
Yes, we will see the MVP of Guatemala, of course, because they are the winners of this match, and
Yes.
today in particular. But yeah, it's just like I was thinking about that because Mouse got like in a few rounds, especially in the last rounds, a lot of entry frags. Like he literally opened the side
Yeah.
in that. In my opinion, it was just crucial for them to plant, and of course to make the difference. So well, that was huge in my opinion. I bet like each one got like an important role, and they actually did it like really really well. So well, this is it, Roy. Basically, I feel like in general Guatemala play really well. In particular, like I feel like the level individually in each one of the players is really good, and we just saw that.
Yeah, I mean, it is about a team effort as like in the bigger picture, but you definitely need those strong building blocks, which are the players and their individual skill to make the magic happen. So huge props to Guatemala and Colombia on that same regard. I mean, it was quite a close match in certain instances of the map. At the very end, though, we did see how Guatemala were able to strongly close out, even if, well, Colombia were creeping in on them little by little. We got to see, I mean, just a little bit of worry maybe on the side of Guatemala, but after all, it,
Hmm.
it in the end ended up turning into a favorable situation for the Guatemala boys, which, yet again, there's a reason why they are the favorites.
Mm-hmm. Yes, definitely. I mean, I saw a lot of support as well in the chat. So hi to everyone, of course, that is just supporting their favorite teams, their favorite players as well. Because I know, again, like most of
Gracias.
them are friends. Like we know each
Yeah.
other in the scene, so it's just like beautiful to see all the support, and especially for these guys. I mean, especially because this tournament is like really good. We will have like a LAN event, and I mean that's just beautiful. Like we love events like that, and especially when, well, there is a love to keep. a support thing in Latin America in particular.
Yeah, I mean, it's such a neat, tight community that I think that we are gonna get through, like the change of the times. But talking about changing something in time, we are changing to our MVP. Let's see who is gonna get that title, and of course, you already know who it was going to be. None other than Anti.
Yes, I mean, look at that KD 2.07. That was just crazy. I mean,
Yo,
even though he just did like 21 kills of his kills were on the first half. I mean, he just got like 5 more on the second half, but it's okay, you know, like it's whatever. He did his job on the T side, so that was basically it. I mean, the headshot percent even like it's really good, like more than a half, like 55. It's just perfect, but well, at the end of the day, that's how things turned for Guatemala in particular, and especially with these players, where they were just showing us how good they could be, right?
oh yeah, I mean they were definitely showing off. I don't know if we're actually gonna get an interview or not. Just waiting for confirmation here from production on that regard. But that you got to see that MVP, and that was Anti. And well, I think this is gonna be it for today for us, Lena. It seems like tomorrow at the same time, Costa Rica
Mm-hmm.
Costa Rica versus Honduras. And of course, a little bit later in the day, we're going to get Ecuador versus Guatemala. So, to everybody that tuned in, I hope that you guys had a great time. Anything else that you want to add, Lena?
Well, not really. Just like again, just thank everybody for being here and especially just supporting good CS and CS in Latin America. As I just I keep repeating, but
Yes.
it's just beautiful for me to see the community
Oh,
just
yeah.
united in this kind of circumstances. So yeah, I mean, basically we just wait for you guys tomorrow, same hour. We have at least 2 matches tomorrow because today was just one. Tomorrow we have two, so there is well we can company to each other, you know, like you guys in the chat, ours here in the microphone. So I don't know, Roy. I just expect like to be a great day tomorrow as well.
Oh, for sure. I mean, it is going to be. We had quite an up and up right here for us. Colombia versus Guatemala was quite a treat. And tomorrow, just as a little bit of a reminder, Costa Rica versus Honduras and Ecuador versus Guatemala at the same time in the same places. So we'll be seeing you guys tomorrow.
See you.